Of all the things to stumble onto my doorstep is a goddamn origin story about me. Who the fuck would make this and why? Did they lose a bet or something? Wait, it's all in text? The cheap prick couldn't even make a movie about it? Oh, we're starting off well. Released in 2015, Dark Wolf Wavius tells the origin story of David Grimm, aka the Mounty Chief, aka yours truly. Because we truly needed an origin about a guy who wanted to do reviews since Countdowns weren't working on and wanted to cover all the Pokemon movies before doing this remake of a top 15 that never came out. And given how this came out in 2015, I can imagine this origin story will have Jesus metaphors about our main lead, and it'll end with someone's neck getting snapped. Screw it, let's start reading. Infinite realities, infinite possibilities. These factors shape the very universe around us and the worlds that we live in. Yeah, and these are the hands that we're given. Should we use them and start trying? Or is it not worth making it a place worth fighting for? However, our story begins on a planet very similar to our own, Earth. But unlike our planet, this world is home to humans who evolved from mutated creatures instead of monkeys. Why does this sound familiar? Also, if we didn't evolve from monkeys, which by the way isn't correct either since it's primates/apes, then why the fuck does everyone in that world resemble a regular human? Hell, that's not even the correct origin. The primates had a special gene that slowly turned into a superpower/quirk over the course of millions of years, aka the evolution process of primates to humans. We're 2 sentences in, and the origin is fucking wrong. Some of them have the power to create/take away life, some have the power to control the elements, and some of them can even reach into other dimensions. Oh, no wonder this seems familiar. One of these humans is Dave, the son of a tall blonde man named Vincent and a medium-sized brown-eyed woman named Artemis. Dave had inherited the same eye color of his father, but his hair color was inherited from his mother. Dave. It's David! Not Dave the Barbarian, not Dave from accounting, David! Growing up, Dave figured out that much like other humans on this planet, he had special abilities as well. By the age of 5, his parents realized that he inherited his mother's special ability of controlling fire, and by the age of 7, his father realized that Dave could give an inanimate object life, though only for a few seconds. Controlling fire, eh? Really? Come with me. Oh, before I show it, don't try this at home. I just want to clarify that just in case someone's stupid enough to try this after seeing what the character with zero power is about to do. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See the lack of burns on my hand and the lack of moving flames? Gee, it's almost like pyrokinesis isn't my fucking power or something. My body/skin is pretty much immune to flames under high temperatures, yes, but that's about it in terms of fire abilities. Also, only for a few seconds. That was true when I was like 3, but when I was 8, I was able to permanently turn someone into a living creature when I used that power on Toucher. After this revelation, Vincent and Artemis spent the next few years teaching their son how to control his special abilities after school, and Artemis taught Dave to only use his powers for good. Oh yeah, Vincent totally taught me. If by taught, you mean taught me nothing, slapped me when I messed up, and got angry that I could do it permanently while he can only animate a non-living thing for a few minutes. At least you got the Artemis part right. But while this training was going on, Vincent and Artemis' marriage was beginning to crack. Vincent didn't want his son to inherit his abilities, and they slowly began to hate his son for it, which resulted in Vincent and Artemis getting into several fights that ended badly for Artemis since Vincent was much stronger than her. Holy shit, something actually correct. Yes, their marriage was cracking around the time I was a kid, and Vincent did abuse Artemis. This might be getting better. But although this was going on behind the scenes, Vincent and Artemis still trained their son and acted as if nothing was wrong in order to keep Dave happy. But little did they know, Dave had his own problems that he couldn't talk to them about. And just as I said that, you pull this crap. First off, no, that wasn't what happened at home. Sure, Artemis tried to act like nothing was wrong, but I could freaking see it, especially when I could hear her fights while I was trying to sleep, and the only person who was able to keep me company / comfort me during those instances was freaking Toucher. Dave was a common target for bullies at school. When he wasn't getting shoved into lockers, he didn't have many friends to talk to, and most of the people he tried to talk to ended up making fun of him. All this resulted in Dave being a depressed regular person. He decided to hold those emotions in instead of telling his parents about this issue because he thought they would treat him as a defected freak and troll him if he told them about this. I mean, Vincent already did think of him as a freak. Also, this was the source of his depression and anxiety. Not the shitty environment he had at home because of Vincent and the fights David had to hear every other night. Also, I love how this origin story leaves at the part where David got suspended a few times because of the shitty environment resulting in him taking out his anger on said bullies. Because, you know, Dave is totally Jesus in the story and not someone who made mistakes as a kid. No sorry, Bob. Fuck off. But these emotions will eventually come out on his 10th birthday. When he woke up and went downstairs to get some breakfast, he noticed his mother sitting at the table with a cup of coffee in hand and a note. He was confused by the lack of his father in the room, but his mother explained to him that Vincent left them last night after she had another fight with him, and he hasn't been seen since. She was blind in one eye as a result of that fight, you know. So, you have domestic abuse in this origin story, but leave out important parts like that. Also, how the hell could he write up a note if he left after that fight? I really doubt he would be in that state of mind after blinding her and leaving.
Oh, I'm so angry. But first I'm gonna write this note to my son and wife that I just blinded.
After this revelation, Dave breaks down crying, blaming himself for the fights his parents have been having lately, and he believes that if it wasn't for him, they'd still be together. After hearing this, Artemis calms the son down and reassures him that it wasn't his fault for what happened between her and Vincent. After this breakdown, Dave admitted his problems to his mother, and she managed to get him into therapy to help him deal with his issues. As a result, Artemis found out that David had issues with anxiety, and after Dave was able to get over his depression, Artemis brought him to a doctor to help his son deal with anxiety. I want to bitch about this since it seems too convenient for him to just admit everything right there since he was worried they would shun him, but this kind of works. It took a while, but eventually David was able to find a way to control his anxiety issues and live a normal life around the time he entered high school. At this point, he was still bullied and had few friends, but Dave was able to stand up for himself and was able to graduate and move on to college. Oh yeah, I was totally able to stand up for myself during that case. Like that time I got my ass beat in high school, and when I did fight back in self-defense, the teachers threatened to expel me and not the bullies, until it was pointed out by many people that they knew of the problem and did nothing about it and can get a big trouble from the higher-ups. Bite me. By the way, isn't there a part of this origin story this guy's neglecting? Like, gee, I don't know, a certain meeting with a redhead at this point in time? Legit, I met her in high school, so what's this story's excuse? Especially when they pen an origin story about her too. But hey, I'm sure nothing came of their relationship in the series. Fuck off. As for his mother, she found love again in a construction worker named Salamanca, who had the power to create objects thanks to his willpower. After Artemis and Salamanca got married, Dave had a stepfather in his life, as well as a younger stepsister who occasionally fights with him, but ultimately cares about his stepbrother. He never existed. Neither did the stepsister. Stop inserting bullshit into this origin story about a guy who doesn't even need an origin story to begin with. But near the end of his high school year, he had heard about a certain kind of video that a lot of people at the high school were enjoying. They were called countdowns, and this gave Dave the motivation to try it out. But first, he had to come up with a name. It took him a while, but he was eventually able to come up with the title of the Mounty Chief and made his first countdown. His first year of making countdowns wasn't that great, but he kept pushing forward and he slowly got better at it, while also having his share of enemies. Yes, because making countdowns is obviously a thing to make an enemy out of. It's not like people had an issue with my videos and wanted to point them out or anything. Nah, they're just enemies, which is why they have me blocked. Oh, wait. Also, yes, I was so good at it that I pretty much stopped doing that as my main form of content in 2015. Granted, I still do countdowns every once in a while, but reviews are my main content now. And with that, the story ends on an optimistic note about Dave looking forward to the future. The origin story ultimately made $572 in the library office and was seen as a bomb, and rightfully so, because this is so inaccurate that it fucking hurts. Whatever, I'm gonna go burn this book, so I'm David Grimm, and thanks for watching.